there? Who's up who? The guy up first. Who? The guy first base. Who? The guy first. Who is on first? What are you asking me for? I'm asking you.
What is up, everybody? This is Tim Ellerbrook, your host of Who is on First. I'm with my friends Brian and Michael, and thanks for listening to the podcast. What's up, fellas?
Oh, just pretty excited. Draft day.
Yeah. Still going on right now?
Yeah. It's only through pick 13. 14 still
Is
to
that
come.
where we're at? You got it pulled up?
I got it pulled up.
Okay.
I'm not going to miss out on who's going where just quite yet.
All right. Before we get started, we got some fun things to talk about. I'm just going to reference our social media. Make sure you follow us and subscribe, comment, all that stuff that the YouTubers are supposed to say. You can get us at WOFBB Podcast. That would be really awesome. So we're in mid-July. Today we're recording July 13th. This is trade deadline season. We are coming up on the All-Star break, which for those who don't participate, I'm a massive fan of the Home Run Derby. The All-Star Game's kind of mid for me. But the Home Run Derby is really fun, but it's been way better. And I wish, hot take, I wish it was back to the outs thing and not a time thing, because I wonder if it would attract more players. Like, we want to see Judge in the Home Run Derby really bad.
We want to see that Miami Home Run Derby again.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Where everybody came out.
Yes. I was thinking about the Boston one in, was it 98 or 99? When Sosa and McGuire were hitting bombs on the street of Fenway.
Well, and that would probably, you get a lot of these guys that have the slump after doing the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they're rushing to try to hit as many balls as they can, and they get out of their normal swing plane. Yep. Especially for these guys who are not a real smooth swing guy, a guy like a Javier Baez and stuff. Like, Home Run Derby's horrible for them. Kyle Schwarber, he's fine. He's got natural power, can easily get through there and stuff. But I agree that going back to the outs would be big time. But I will say it was kind of fun watching these guys put up like 45, 50 of these things in 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. You can see the exhaustion.
They burn out so fast. That first round's electric, and then the next couple rounds, it's like, and he hit 3.
Yeah.
Right. That is the big problem there, because I'll date myself here, but I remember back when Griffey was at Camden Yards in Baltimore and put one off the warehouse. Those were iconic
and it's
moments.
It makes the home run so much more majestic in a sense. That sounds corny, but when you can take your time and the dude can just hit it as hard as humanly possible. And it makes me think of the old ESPN guy that was like, back.
Chris Berman,
yeah. And it's like, off the... whatever. So, who's winning the Derby this year?
Hot take. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz, and he's going to kill a fan doing it.
I can see it, honestly.
Whoa.
No, I hope he doesn't. I'm just saying... The way that ball is going to come off that bat, I mean, you're looking at somebody that could potentially hit 120 off the bat easy.
Yes. So he's one of the guys, though, that are like, man, is he only going to be able to get 15 and then he's going to have nothing left?
Yeah, right.
Because hard of a swing.
He's got to pace himself. But and again, please, I'm joking when I say he's going to kill a fan. If that happens... Dear God, I'm going to get so much hate mail.
Right.
We may have to take this down. But
my favorite thing is I've said for a long time, 1 year for the Home Run Derby, just to bring in the intrigue of everybody, as fun as the Derby is they need to bring out metal bats. We get all of the biggest boppers and just see how far these guys can hit.
You have to remove fans.
Fans are completely out of the outfield.
You cannot.
Kids are not out there in the outfield.
Yeah, not in the outfield.
Watching these little kids get smoked. Correct. Net all the way down the line.
Yes.
And just see
that would
a couple of these
6 foot
100 shots. It'll be unbelievable.
That's the other thing with O'Neal Cruz. I want to see if the fathers of the players that usually have their kids roaming the outfield to shag balls go, hey guys, for this guy, why don't you come on in for a little bit? Let's take a break.
Talking. O'Neal Cruz gets up there. He's got the hardest hit of the stat.
Vladdy literally almost killed that one kid 2 years ago. We were all
Cruz hits line drive homers. He doesn't hit air balls.
Well, you saw, I think it was in Pittsburgh. It might have been somewhere else. I couldn't remember, where the one fan, it was right at the wall. Yeah. And he thought it was going to hit the wall, so he kind of short armed it. Yeah. And that line drive home run caught him square in the Johnson. I mean, they got the video of it. His face, a kid for 3 innings later was still just hunched over because it just smoked him, and his friends were having a good old time with it.
I mean, it's a great time. So your pick's Cruz. Who's the last round for you think?
Oh, gosh. I don't know because I don't know the brackets yet. They haven't really broken the brackets down to see how they're going to pair up.
We don't have brackets yet, but it's going to be the best. It's going to be the best 2, right?
No,
not necessarily.
It just depends.
It depends how the bracket breaks up.
Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking up to see if I can find a bracket.
Yeah, I haven't looked to see what the brackets are.
My preference would be, I think Wood wins, but just because I think he's got the stamina and athleticism to do kind of what we were talking about, to have the pace, to keep the pace of everything. Schwarber's got the most power. But
but that doesn't always. I know, but it doesn't always translate.
O'Neal Cruz has got the best potential.
Well, so I was really high on O'Neal Cruz for this. Just I think I want to watch him smoke a ball, maybe 125. But
we're so
the big
demented.
piece to correct the big piece to watch out for is Cal Raleigh can switch hit, and that piece of it.
Yeah, but
a couple years ago
did that a few years and it was bad.
It wasn't at first though. That first round when he went out there and he switched, you could tell he had more energy left.
That's a good point.
He just hit a couple of bloopers he shouldn't have gone after.
Well, and I think the advantage too. Now it's going to be hot, obviously being down in Hotlanta.
Mm-hmm. So it gets rained out.
The ball is going to travel like crazy, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well. But it's like if the wind's blowing in a certain direction, switch hitters may have that advantage because they can adjust to it. If it's going out to right, well, I'm going to hit lefty. If it's going out to left, I'm just going to turn around and go for it.
Well, and we just talked about him, but Matt Olson would be a guy to watch in this. Used to play in Atlanta. He's got a very smooth swing, and he's got a home run derby swing, that long uppercutting swing right through the zone.
Yeah, the only thing, he's just not hitting well right now, and you don't know if that.
Watch his flips Atlanta season right here.
Well, yeah, right.
Well, and the only thing I would negate that, and it was only because of today, because I do like his swing, but they haven't even finished the game. They're playing in St. Louis, so he's going to have to hit a red eye, get out of there, and then it's tomorrow night for them. So it's like, how much energy? I think that's going to be the longevity. How much energy does he have? The fans obviously are going to want something like that. I wish Acuna didn't bow out because I don't know that I'd have probably would have picked him.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of thinking of guys who's going to have the smoothest, cleanest, most non-wear you out swing. O'Neal Cruz screams to me someone that's going to wear himself out just because of how violent his swing is. Olson's got a great, smooth, just pretty constant, and that's why I think Judge would probably always have a leg up because his swing and everything is just, it's so timed and so smooth perfectly. It's just it's dance like.
Yeah, there is some advantage obviously if you've competed in it before to a degree because you understand the pacing, you understand that, and so the rookie aspect of the home run derby with Cruz and Wood, I can really see that impacting.
2, 4, 6. Schwarber's not on here.
No, he's not. He's done it previously and
I thought he got picked though.
No,
I don't think so. I think he's just.
So things are different this year in the Derby, though, too.
So what are they going back to?
In the first round, all 8 participants will hit in order determined by the commish, and then the 4 batters with the most home runs after the first round will advance.
Oh.
So they're not doing a bracket style.
Okay.
And then we'll advance to a single elimination second round.
Okay, so they're just going to
whittle it back down. So it actually will get down to your best hitters.
Top 2.
So
I like that. So
that does change some stuff.
Yeah. National League show off for the championship? You think an Olsen and Cruz?
I think Brooker's a little underrated.
Brent Rooker?
That is a piece to watch.
Did I say Brooker?
I don't know. I just was making sure I heard you right. I'm just trying to hear you right. So,
dude,
don't
Woods
mumble
just
on
got
us.
a great swing.
He does.
I'm not.
I don't think Chisholm makes it very far.
I love the dude. I think James Wood is the next elite outfielder as far as corner power, all of that. I just for some reason
I'm looking at the list now. These are great picks.
Yeah,
Caminero.
Yeah, good young talent.
Yep, you got a good
that
mix.
You're going to be able to showcase here, along with some of the veterans who've been a part. So, I love what MLB is trying to do with it. I like that they're going back to the style where they get to progress through because then it does take a little bit of the pressure off of the players that you're not going head to head necessarily. I mean, you are in some cases, but like for some of the guys, once you know you eclipse, like let's say 3 people have gone and you get to spot 2, you're pretty safe.
Well, it's like 3 years ago or something. I think it was like Salvi put up like 30-some home runs in the first round and got knocked out because the guy he went up against, I believe, was Pete Alonso, who hit like 35 or something. Right. And then there was a round of 2 guys, and I think the winner was like at 13 home runs. It's like, I'm sorry, this is where the league just steps in and says, nope, you didn't do well enough. Yeah. Salvi advances.
This guy here is going to move on.
Sorry.
Right. That's where, I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, But I think, again, going back to your point, overall All-Star weekend or week as we see it these few days, they just need to make it fun again. Mic these players up, while they're waiting to hit in the home run derby. Maybe if some of them feel like they can do it while they're hitting in the home run derby, have some fun with it, get the cameras on their teammates and their reactions when O'Neal Cruz smokes one at 275 miles an hour off the bat and it leaves Atlanta and somewhere downtown somebody's crying because there's a ball sitting in their windshield.
Yeah, I will say, of all the major sporting events outside of what the NHL did this last year, because that was absolutely electric.
That was, by
the
far,
MLB All-Star
the
game
best.
Between the NFL and the NBA and stuff. MLB was by far way better than either of those two.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss the win of the game mattering. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
As a Cubs fan, it really came and paid dividends for the Cubs back in 2016.
Maybe I'm one that hates it.
It did for the 11 Cardinals.
Well, and
that's the only reason we had the last few games at Busch.
I hate when you see a team that comes in with like 110, 115 wins, and they definitely should be hosting, but a team with 90 wins gets to host because the AL won for the 35th year in a row.
Right. Sure, there's always downsides to it.
But like I said, as a Cubs fan, I don't hate it because it won us a World Series. So.
I mean, maybe if we were still going old school rules where like the DH wasn't a thing in the National League, I still like that idea because there's incentive for the National League to pull the win off.
Yeah.
Because you get that home field
does put
and it puts an AL team at a little bit more of a disadvantage because the pitchers were hitting.
Yeah.
At that point, now there's not so much of a
That's
disadvantage.
That's only affected the ballpark back in the day, though.
Now, the one piece I will push back on, I do believe that is part of what made the All-Star Game so competitive back over the years was the fact that these guys that were on playoff teams realized that this could play huge dividends at the end of the year from the AL and NL. Totally. And Mike Trout's like, I'm going to go off in these games, and my team's 60 games under 500.
I'm going to showcase, this is my playoff.
It helped all his AL buddies.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
So we never got your pick for the Derby.
No, I'm going to go Raleigh. I'm going to go Cal. Big dumper. I've been riding him on my fantasy team all year. And can't be knocked with what he's been doing this year. So
the power's there.
The power's clearly there. The switch hitter, I think, actually will be a benefit, but we'll see. I mean,
it'll be interesting.
It should be fun. Like I said, dude, there's a lot of good hitters. It's not I think Jazz is the only guy where I'm sitting there. I'm like, I hope he can keep up, but that's mostly because I think he's going to poop himself out.
He is sneaky pop, but again, I don't think it's to the degree of everybody else.
There's a difference. These Derby guys, like Javier Baez. Extreme power years back, but he swings so hard. He just wears your body out. You can do that 3 or 4 times in a game. Doing it 30 swings in
that's
around.
Why I'm going back to like Wood.
Here's another hot take, MLB. Let them have corked bats.
Hey.
For the home run derby.
I don't care about it. Make it as fun as you can.
I don't care about it. Let them have a corked bat and hit a ball 576 feet.
Here's a great question. When you're listening and watching a hitter hit tanks, what is more mesmerizing, the distance or how loud it is?
If you're in person, it's the sound.
Yeah.
By far.
I can hear that on TV, though.
They've done a better job of that now, obviously, with the audio quality. But to me, there's nothing quite like just the pop of the wood in stadium when you know somebody got it and you don't even have to look at the ball. Like, you're just like, all right.
And the funny thing for me as a fan, it's also my biggest pet peeve is the fans that just lose their mind. It's like, that ball's 60 feet short of the fence. Like, I'm sorry, that's not going out. There's, like you said, that sound, you hear it, and occasionally it falls short. But like the actual like casual fans, the people that are locked in, I would say, you hear that sound, you're like, oh, that one's got a shot.
Yeah.
And then you watch this ball just keep floating and floating and floating. That being said, it's the long ball.
That's
in home run derby,
it's
by
the long
far,
ball.
if you see someone tank one out of Truist Park, you're gonna go crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't care.
I'm just an exit velocity slut.
It's fair. Like I said,
because
we were talking Cruz.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That will be one of the greatest parts. Oh, dude, that ball only went 380, but dude, it went 150 miles an hour. That would be awesome.
See, and I think a year like this year, we saw it a couple years ago. Vladdy smacks his kid, and I think they've probably changed a couple things.
Oh, 100%.
But I would say you're going to see some more adjustments because, like pitchers, you are starting to see higher velocities off of these guys' bats.
Yeah.
And it's becoming to a point like it's dangerous for a pitcher to be standing, this close, let alone some little 12-year-old kid out here.
Yeah.
And this ball comes off of Cruz's bat at 123. Like,
they're going to have
he shouldn't be out here in front of this ball.
Guys wandering around going, get behind me,
Fernando
kids.
Tatis, get out here and
taking this
balls.
one. Right. I am taking
Speaking
this
of,
one
that's
for
an
you.
underrated. He should be in the Derby. He would be
he would be fun to watch.
Yeah. I'd still think I like him more in the All-Star game just because I want to see some, I mean, as much as I hate playing for something like home field in the World Series, I wish there was a way you could incentivize the All-Star game outside of a bonus pool of money that the winning team gets. Because like most players, they're going to tell you, like, it's nice, but that's not going to sway them a whole lot in that regard.
Do you have any thoughts on what that may look like?
That's what I'm trying to think. Like, what can you do? Maybe it's, I don't know. Like, if MLB's listening, maybe you give them like a bump in the lottery, the draft
That's
lottery.
what I'm...
Like an AL team gets, if they win, they get... But how are you going to delineate that for 15 other teams?
I know. That's where I'm just trying to think it out.
That are represented?
This is where you get... this. For me, this is where it is. It's the MVP, your team. That gets every player playing hard. And this is the MVP of the game, your team. Or maybe it's
we're coming
your
up with
team
some
gets
stuff
put
right
into... to be one of the exhibition series that we've seen, or it's not even an exhibition, but going and playing overseas in the Japan series,
where
or playing down there or playing up in Iowa and stuff. Like, not every team gets that. And as goofy as it may look, like, I'm sure it's probably a pretty neat experience to go up there to Iowa, or to go down there to the Negro League field and stuff. Like, I'm sure that's absolutely electric.
Here's another good. It may not be an incentive for. Well, I guess it would be for players to a degree, but maybe for teams overall that the MVP of the All-Star game, that team that he's representing, gets a special jersey next year, like an alternate jersey.
That's kind of fun.
That they get to, and that'd be
one
a
extra
fun
no one else gets.
Yeah, that no one else gets just for that year's, designed only for the next year.
Yeah.
And then they get to rock it, or even rock it until the All-Star break, and then it goes away, and the next team gets theirs, and you got time to reveal it.
So my hot take with that, and it's not the All-Star game, it's more in relation to the World Series. I think whoever wins the World Series should get a guaranteed top 10 pick every year.
No, that would make them too powerful. I mean, look at what
the Houston Astros are going to get too many good players.
Yeah, I mean, like, it just...
It's that forces more incentive
for teams to pay.
For teams to pay.
I mean, I understand that, but
there's only ever one team, and who's going to win back-to-back anymore? Yeah. Last time that happened was 2000, which is 25 years ago.
Man, that's a power move right there, though. I mean, you think about teams that are like perennial contenders in that regard, and you're telling me that they have a chance to be in the top 10 in draft every year.
No, I will say we should be in the same boat here. We have teams that refuse to spend money but have the money to spend.
Oh, right.
I'd love to watch the Cubs go out here and spend some money, and I know the Cardinals have not the same money, but not far off.
Not far off. Not far off at all.
No. I mean, we can throw some weird things out there. I mean, you're the team that loses the All-Star game, and you got to have a salary floor for the whole next year.
That needs to happen anyway.
I know that needs to go on anyway. We will
So you think that's too big
derail
of a
this
power
whole thing.
move?
I just, man, it's so hard to plan that because, like, you could potentially have teams like. So let me just run this out. You have teams like Colorado who are not going to sniff the playoffs in any light
but
for the next 10 years,
yeah.
right?
So the lottery's always going to be in play. We shouldn't have got number 5. We did.
100%.
So I'm saying this year the Dodgers would have been picked 10.
Okay, so you look at that. So then the White Sox, who struggled mightily, are outside the top 10.
Mm-hmm. Their own fault.
That actually, I will say, the one piece that does incentivize is these teams that are very bad that we're looking at. And we're like, of course, you get one automatic player, and they're actually sending their best player, and it's not some random guy that gets to play every other Thursday or something out there to play because they're like, look, this actually will pay dividends for us because we don't want to be the White Sox and sitting on the outside looking in as a bad team.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Man, that's a tough one. I mean,
And if you lose the World Series, it gets you, because you made it.
A top 15.
Top 15, yeah. So the Yankees would get number 15.
Man, now you're killing me. It just messes with the traditional mindset of
the
Major
lottery
League
kind of
Baseball.
screwed that up anyway. Though.
I know it did, but I mean,
traditionally,
yeah.
We benefited from it twice.
I mean, let's be honest. Like the Rockies probably have the worst record this year, and chances of them getting the number 1 overall pick,
still
probably not going to be good.
But the rule of that whole thing of like just tank, like the Astros and Baltimore, just tank.
It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't work anyway. So there's no incentive for you just to be so bad for a long time just to rebuild. The Nationals did that. Yep. There's no incentive for that anymore because the White Sox got screwed and got just
if
11.
You do that though, you're going to have to give, right?
Yeah.
So then are you saying no floor?
What do you mean give?
Because in order for the owners to agree to something like this, you're going to have to give somewhere in the next collective bargaining agreement. Because this will have to be something that comes up in that, you know.
Why would owners be wrong with it?
Because of the financial.
Yep. Because they're still going to go, the big guys are going to come in and win out on this.
Right. Because you're going to pay more, right? You got to pay more to guarantee you get a chance
but
at
that. It doesn't have anything to do with salary. It has nothing to do with money
spent.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to pay. So your primo players, their contracts are going to go higher. You thought Soto's contract is high now.
What does any of this have to do with salaries of players to begin with? I'm just saying.
Because you got to get the players to make it to the World Series.
Sure.
Right. So you're going to have to pay out the wazoo because you will have, just like you did in the NBA for a little bit, right? You're going to have teams that become super teams like LA. They're going to have to spend upwards of $1 billion in contracts to get a team to guarantee their shot at a playoff spot. And then from there, hopefully they get this, and now they get an opportunity to reload right away.
But here, okay, so I'm gonna throw this one to you. In 2020, the Dodgers won the World Series. But the Rays were playing in the World Series, so give the Rays number 15 pick.
Right.
That would have been huge.
100%. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but
because any team can make it there.
Right.
Like in this game of all the sports, you just got to get there. The entire schedule. I'm sorry, not schedule. The entire win-loss record completely resets. And everybody's on equal playing field.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm not talking about the teams in general. I'm talking about an ownership because they're going to have to front more money.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
I don't agree with that in the simple fact of they're not going to need to if they don't want to.
Then they're just going to be the bottom tier team every year.
They're not going to. That's what I'm saying though.
But again, the Rockies got number 4 this year.
Right, but it's still...
And they were still bad last year.
Right, but they absolutely have nothing going for them this year. They're probably going to have nothing going for them next year, even adding someone like Ethan Holiday.
And that's their own fault, though.
Right, because...
That has nothing to do with the amount of money that they could spend. Because they spend money. They paid Chris Bryant stupid amounts of money.
Right, but that's it. The one player doesn't... Yeah. You can't do that.
I know, but that's the point. That's the point that I'm making.
I think we're just in two different places. Because I'm not saying, like... Teams are like owners will be able to choose how they want to choose. Sure. I'm just simply saying in an owner's mindset, I am not giving you a salary floor And then also, this is a new incentive for my team because it's going to cost me more. Yeah. Most of the teams in the league, my salary is going to increase because of this new. So I'm not saying yes to a floor, because if I want to tank, even if I'm not going to get the 10 overall, I'm still pretty much assured to be in the top 15 if I am
But there's no
horrible.
reason for a team to tank anymore. It doesn't benefit them whatsoever. No.
Well, I mean, it still does. Let's be honest, because they still get a high draft pick. Yeah. It may not be the number 1 overall, but they still can't fall outside of the top 15. So they still get a pick in the upper part.
There's a secondary rule that you can't pick. You can't get a pick 2 years in a row and within a certain bracket number. I forget what it is. Like the Cardinals can't be picked above number 15 next year.
Right.
Because they got 2.
But for the next year is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
you can only get 2 I don't know if it's top 10 or top 15 picks back to back. That's it.
Right.
And you disqualify.
Right. But it's still, that's huge. 2 top 10 picks. I mean, could reset your team for the future. Big time. So that's what I'm saying.
But the Dodgers are never going to get that pick unless they win the World Series.
And that's why they pay for it.
Yep.
Like that's the complete difference.
Sure.
That's why they pay.
But the Cubs didn't pay anything in 20. Well, I mean, they paid a little bit.
Yeah.
But they won in 2016 and they would have got a top 10 draft pick.
Right.
And so but they didn't spend Dodger money. They didn't spend like stupid amounts of money to do it.
Right.
So I think it's a little of a it's going to give the big market teams so much more money to spend, because no matter what, those teams are going to spend money anyway. Correct. And no matter what, the Pirates are not going to spend money anyway.
Right. But here's the thing. It's not about the big market teams. They are already showing you they're willing to spend.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's about spending at all. I just think it's an incentive for the middling teams to decide we're actually going to do something to go for it, or we're
and
just
if
not
they're
worry
doing
about
something to go for it, means they're spending more money, which the owners aren't going to do that. Think of the Cardinals.
Yeah.
What do they got to do right now to win?
Draft and develop better.
Well, I mean, this year. Like, if they want to get in this year, what's their hope? It's not draft and develop. It's trade or go in the offseason, go pay for a player to come here.
Yeah, but they got to have assets to do
They're not
that.
going to do that.
Yeah, but
you don't have to have assets to pay for a player. You just got to spend the money.
Yep.
In the trade market.
Let's be honest. Tucker, right?
Yeah.
$600 million contract is awaiting him in the offseason.
You're saying the offseason? I thought you were talking about the trade deadline.
No, I mean, but you're going to, like, let's say you could take on a massive like, we could look at the Angels right now and go, we'll trade you a couple bums for Mike Trout. And we'll take his whole contract on because he gives us a chance to elevate against lefties, and he's now in left field for us and finds a resurgence somehow with his career, and then the Cardinals go on to win the World Series. Right. I'd love every minute of it. But the Cardinals owner has to go, I'm willing to take on $50 million that I'm not going to do.
Because he's proven to do it. We've been in the $200 million payroll
But he refused to do it this year.
Well, yeah, this year. I think that's an outlier.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's why I mean these middling teams, because you got to, there's,
it's got,
on the
extremes.
Team
that it's going to affect is someone like Cleveland to me. Yeah. Who are going to be? They paid Jose Ramirez a lot of money. Right. He's very underpaid.
100%.
But they were in the World Series in 16.
Yeah.
Right.
They were in the CS in 15. Right.
I mean, a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Like but that's not the reality.
That's what they're doing, no matter what, though. Anyway.
But that's not the reality, though. What I'm saying, like, there are these teams, and I'll let Michael get a word in. I promise. There are these. This is what people want anyway.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Give the people what they want.
You've got your outliers on both sides. Yep. The teams that are always going to spend and the teams that are going to, I want to use a word I'm not going to use. They're just going to suck it every year because they don't care.
Yep.
It's the middling teams that have to pay more, but they're the majority of the owners that are going to combat this and go, well, if I have to do this, I'm not giving you this over here.
Yeah, but if you look at the last 10, let's just do the last 10 to 15 years, the biggest market teams, the teams with the highest top 5 payroll that have won the World Series have only been 3 or 4 times. The Astros won 2 World Series when they have had a top 15 payroll, top 10. So that's the norm anyway. Teams with between 15 and 8 are the ones winning World Series most often. Dodgers are the outliers. Yankees are the outliers.
But both of them met last year.
Yep.
The tide's turning,
When's the
man.
last time?
Tide's turning.
Yeah.
Last time the Dodgers were in the World Series, they were in, 17, 18, 19, and they lost them all.
Yeah.
To teams with middle payrolls.
Yeah. No, they won in COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
2020.
Yeah. So,
but the Rays were there.
Sure.
So they would get a 15 pick.
Again, I'm not arguing the lower side. I'm just telling you from an owner standpoint, maybe I'll call Crane, get him on the phone and see if we can ask him like, hey, Jim, talk to me for a little bit here. What do you think about this idea? And he could tell us really, but I think there's that
middling That's going to benefit him
teams.
the most, though.
I'm going to let Michael talk, and then I'll keep my argument
I was going to
going.
say, there are major outliers. You have like your top 4 teams in payroll that can just reset the market every single year. And then you have the White Sox, the Athletics, a couple of these teams down there that just will not pay. But like you said, those middle teams, they're going to have to pay more.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate. I actually kind of like the idea because we're getting teams like the Cubs, Cardinals that are in bigger markets for baseball to actually go after those guys on a consistent basis. Not every few years you're going to see Kyle Tucker. We're sitting here going, he's having a near MVP season right now. But are the Cubs going to pay for it? And they're a top 5, probably highest grossing team in baseball, but they don't spend like it.
Correct.
The Cardinals, I think, were top 10, top 12, somewhere in there every year, but they don't spend like it every year. And it's like the Mets, since Cohen took over, he said, we're going to look like a big market team, and they've done it every single year since
then. And they have
then.
yet to make it to the World Series.
Right.
But they're borderline. I will say, the Mets for a long time were here, and then every once in a while they'd peak into the playoffs and then fall. Now they're kind of consistently, we're looming, watching them go, okay, well, Edwin Diaz gets hurt after having an absolutely electric season.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of resets him a little bit, but they've gone and made some big moves that we're just not seeing from these other teams that I think do get forced to have to go make those moves, sign these youngsters that deserve these contracts, rather than just hold on to them through arbitration and then just walk out the door at the end of it.
Because unfortunately, gone are the days of what Atlanta did with their young core. I hate to say it. I think there will still be a couple players that will fall in that range.
You really think gone are the days?
Yeah, because there's no... Why would I sit on this when you're seeing young talent get upwards of $400 million contract extensions?
I think you're assuming the personalities of every individual player. Not everybody's going to have the mentality of Juan Soto and say, like, if I made the All-Star, I would have got an extra $100,000.
No. I'm not saying that. That's why I say there will be a few players. Like
the Jose Ramirez's of the world.
You look at like a Jackson Merrill who just said, hey, I love this team.
He should be making more money.
Way more.
So I'm going to stick it out and play here for a little bit less in that regard. But I think, if you're honest, the Players Association is going to step in. And they're not that they can force a player to do anything, but what I'm saying is they're going to drive that average contract higher and higher. I mean, again, looking at the Cardinals setup right now, they're going to have to make some decisions because you're not going to be able to keep Mason Wynn, Victor Scott, Jordan Walker if these guys pan out.
Yeah.
Right? Donovan. You're not going to be able to pay Quinn Matthews or Tink Hint.
Yeah.
And again, these are all just names that were floated as high prospects.
I think this is the cart before the horse because, like, this doesn't have to be decided to just have, hey, if you win the World Series, you're going to get pick number 10. Because if you look at the history, the Dodgers made the World Series and won it only last year and in the COVID year. Before that, they were always making it really close. But it's a freaking wild card. It's a gamble when you get there.
But the big thing is they did
Astros beat 'em.
something no one else was doing. They consistently put themselves there because they went and spent money unlike we've seen outside of anybody but the Yankees.
Just recently, in 17, 18, and 19, they had a mid-payroll. They just develop and their players like crazy.
They had phenomenal rookies that came through. But like you said, the draft has changed.
Yes.
Everything's adapted a lot since that point.
Right. I mean,
and now the Dodgers have adapted from that point. Now they're not doing that. They don't care about these prospects. Send them away, bring in Mookie Betts, bring in Freddie Freeman, all these guys.
Sure.
So just like this, 17, 18-year-old kid right now drafted number 1 overall. The estimated value of that pick is $11 million right there. 3 years ago,
wow,
that was $5-6 million.
Yeah, I mean,
the value of the
individual,
right? But that's what I'm saying, though. The value of the individual is only going to increase until there's a total collapse in some aspect, and so it would be like, I mean, think about it. Like if somebody's,
I just struggle to see how the two are related to each other somewhat, just because of how the wild card and how random. Money. Sure, it's just money.
I mean, that's the bottom line, though, because in order to, like, here's the thing. It's not about necessarily winning the World Series.
Yeah.
You've got to make the playoffs first.
Sure.
To even have a chance.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So the only thing you can do to assure yourself that is to spend money to set up your team. Not that it's foolproof. Nothing is. Okay. But to give yourself the best chance.
One of you guys pull up the wild cards for each team real quick. Or I mean for each league real quick, because I'm gonna do an interesting study. And then we need to move on. So
we'll be here all night.
I know the Mets, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Yankees, Toronto, the Giants, the Padres are all in it, right?
Yeah.
That is payrolls rank 1 through 7. Okay. The Cubs are in it, and their payroll rank number 9. Houston's in it. Their payroll rank number 11. The Cardinals are like right on the tier. Their payroll number 14. Seattle is in it. Their payroll number 15. The Arizona, they're not in it. They're a few back, but they're still considered like a good team that could potentially do it. Their payroll number 16. Detroit, payroll number 18. Kansas City's payroll number 20. Cleveland's payroll number 24. Milwaukee, payroll number 25.
Right.
The Rays, number 27.
They're the outliers.
Dude, sure, there's more high payroll teams making it. 100%.
Right.
You know? But
and that's what you're shooting for.
The Brewers have just as much a chance to win as the Dodgers do.
100%, but that's one team. That's one
the Rays
team.
have just as much.
Okay, 2 teams out of 16.
Yeah.
Detroit is probably going to win.
Detroit's getting ready to have to start paying dudes, though.
They're just the product of having young players still in arbitration.
Houston's payroll number 11, and they're usually 9 to 12.
But it's a top half of the league.
Sure. No team. No, the Rays being the outlier and the Brewers to me are like, you guys need to stop spending because you don't. You can. But they develop really well.
Right.
That's correct.
Right. But not, I mean, look at the other teams that don't spend and don't develop well.
Yeah.
But look at the Yankees. They made the World Series this year. When was the last time they won the pennant? 2009. Doesn't do anything for them.
It does, because it puts them in position to have a chance to get to the World Series.
You could make the argument that the Yankees would have been there, some years back whenever Houston was banging around on trash cans and stuff. Now, given I was on Houston's side of everything on this, but
the Dodgers,
the Yankees fans would argue that
probably would have won if it wasn't for that.
Maybe.
I mean, Judge makes a catch in center field, they might be the winners.
True.
I mean, it's just, again, not to hate on the Yankees.
That's hire good coaches.
But it's money, man. It's money. We're back to money. No, it's just, again, I don't want to just belabor this to belabor it, but
we're past that.
I know. But it's just that simple. Like you see it in NBA right now. What you're talking about only enhances something that people hate in the NBA, and that's these stacked teams of players. I mean, look at the dialogue for the Dodgers this year. They're the absolute villains because they go out and give this money to all these players.
And
it's all deferred. Yeah, they're hurt. But the reality is come a month, 2 months from now, every one of them are going to be healthy. They're still one of the top teams, if not the top team in the NL, and they're still going to be stacked and ready to go.
Disagree.
So
let's move on.
We'll fight over that one. We're throwing fists in here.
All right. So the next part, I just wanted to recap the draft, or not recap it, just react to it. They're probably past the first round, I think, at this point.
No, they're only at pick 22.
Pick 22. Wow, that's going forever. You guys' thoughts? I was insanely shocked that Willits was pick number 1, and crazy shocked that Holiday was pick number 4, because I was thinking he was going to be 1 or 2. But to go to number 4 is kind of wild. For them to pick Willits is kind of wild. And you made a good point about it's probably a money issue, which always goes back to money.
Hey, there it is. He said it, folks. You heard him.
That's a different hot take for a different podcast.
The big piece of it is I think Willits is actually one of the most surprising one picks in any sport I have watched since probably Anthony Bennett going to the Cavaliers, only from the fact you were not hearing his name in anybody's mouth at all. Extremely talented young player. He's only 17 years old, so you got a long way to develop this kid, and he's already good enough to be drafted that high. But his name just was not in anybody's mouth. Anthony Bennett, nobody thought was going number 1 in the NBA draft. And the Holiday piece, it's just there were 2 pitchers. That's what the teams needed below him. They felt is they needed more pitchers with Seattle. They seem to have a lot of great pitchers, but they're going to probably have to trade a couple of those guys away in the next couple of years. So they want that next guy. But
their top pick last year was that switch
pitcher.
Yeah.
Electric. But Holiday sliding to 4, it was interesting because I saw everybody was like, he's going 1 or 4. There was nobody thought he was landing in that 2 to 3 zone for whatever reason it was. Like I said, evidently they were pretty set that the Angels and Mariners were both going pitchers, which is what they ended up doing. But if it was going to be a shortstop going number 1, I thought for sure it was Holiday. And everybody else did apparently too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, up until late, they had Anderson slated as a 50% number 1 pick, Ethan at a 30% number 1 pick. And I think you're both right in the sense that it's a shock that Willits got the number 1 overall to some degree. And again, I won't go into super details, but keep in mind Nationals got an interim GM. They got to pay all these young studs that they got in the Soto deal. So I think that really played a bigger factor than people really thought it would at first. Even though Ethan Holiday is not going to cost them crazy amounts of money early, I think he's more MLB ready, and that scared them because they still have CJ Abrams. They want to ride out the contract with him as far as they can. So that's why I think Willits ended up being their guy, because it gives them a little bit more time to run with Abrams. And then if Abrams continues to do this run that he's on in development, he's going to get them another haul back when they decide to move on from him. And now they've already got their shortstop of the future.
True. Yeah.
And I mean, I know that kind of sucks if you're CJ Abrams when you're thinking about it on some level, but who knows? You're probably going to end up on a high profile.
You're going to be going to play for the Dodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the shortstop's pick is not positional. It's just the most athletic.
If you're going to pick him number 1, that tells me you've got some pretty good idea that he's going to be where he's playing. I'm not saying he can't move, but I would say probably 65% chance that's their future shortstop right there.
The top 15 picks that weren't pitchers were all shortstops, though.
Right. Now, the lower, you're absolutely right. Once you get outside the top 5, 100%. It is an athletic-driven draft in that because they can transition to outfield seemingly quite well. Jackson Merrill's a good indication of that. You see what they're trying to do with O'Neal Cruz. Like, they have the athleticism to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
But I look at someone like Ethan Holiday and Willits, they're probably their future shortstops. Yep. Maybe the exception for Holiday is maybe third base.
Yeah.
Just because of his arm. His arm is electric. Yep. Yeah, I would love to see him in the outfield ultimately. I'd love for him to fall one more spot and we'd have had a future left fielder. He could play the same position as his dad, but that
was tough.
Didn't happen to be the case.
Then you would have had another young outfielder you guys held on to for just too long. And
we'll move a couple more along, fast track this young man.
That hurts.
I know. Shots fired. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, love it as a homer. I love the Liam Doyle pick for the Cardinals. I think it is tremendous as far as an electric personality. We haven't really seen someone like that on the mound since Chris Carpenter. And I really love the idea of having someone with that competitive grit that maybe can fire the Cubs up and get into benches clearing brawl in a few years.
But it's one of the things I
smokes PCA.
In a lot of ways, like I love a lot of the traditional things about baseball, but some of the stuff that's come in the recent years, the excitement the players are actually showing out there on the field.
Yeah.
actually really gets me very excited to watch the game.
Yeah, because
it brings the average fan. He goes, "Oh wow, look at this guy." Liam Doyle is nuts. Like that dude is crazy. And when his stuff's right, like he's definitely going to start causing fights. He's going to look like young Bryce Harper out here, just throwing everything he can at people, and it's going to be wonderful. So, great pick for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it makes me think of a quote from that Bailey video about Yachty. About takes exception to it. Gets talked to, takes exception.
I would love to throw back the wheels and Yachty be behind the plate with this kid. Both of their fiery personalities. Oh, man. That'd be a blast right there.
That's pretty much just like Reyes.
Yeah. I know. It'll be interesting. Just so you know, Cubs drafted
Ethan Conrad.
Yeah, Tucker's replacement since he won't be there next year.
He's an interesting pick, though, because
just messing with
Conrad was projected, I think, top 10 pick before this year started, got hurt and had to have surgery. But even early in the season, he was batting .372 with, 7 home runs in 21 games.
Yeah, sneaky.
Like
some of those players,
great pick. And some of those guys you see fall late in a draft. Not that he's that late, but later in the first round than you expected. He might be here sooner than we thought.
But you might have to. I'm just saying. Suzuki can't play that much longer.
Suzuki's just,
He was slated to go number 24.
Yeah.
They jumped up, grabbed him.
55 grade hit tool.
It's there.
I was so for me, the Willits thing. So he was slated to go number 5 for all the people that I follow, which is supposed to be the Cardinals pick. Now, I think when it was happening and Holiday didn't get picked first, I was like, no way. And I got too excited.
Yep.
Because I got very let down. But Willits is the youngest player to ever be drafted first.
I did not know that.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's 17. I knew that. So
I did know the
young
age.
17 too.
Yeah.
And good for the kid. Like I don't want to take anything away from him.
Holiday not going first and then going fourth to the Rockies was the most known thing of all time. As much as I was
scripted? Is that what you're telling me?
Most scripted thing of all time. And Brian texted me. He was like, "Oh, Seattle's got to pick him up because they need offense." And I was like,
"I thought they would.
They're gonna pick a pitcher because that's the only thing they know what to do with."
I mean, you're right. You're right. I can't argue that.
They're asking Cal Raleigh, "How did you become what you are?" Because we have no idea what is happening right now.
Can you become our prospect
everybody
development
outside of the organization, and that helped me out a lot.
Julio Rodriguez was supposed to be you, but it's not happening.
I thought Cade Anderson was going to end up being the Cardinals pick, but he went way earlier than I thought. Even though you guys said that he was a 50% to go first, I thought he was going to end up being 4th or 5th.
After his run through the tournament, I thought he was going number 1.
Yeah.
I thought Holiday was pretty much locked up prior to the tournament happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then LSU was just clamping down on everybody, and their pitching staff was the reason why their entire staff was showing out on everybody.
Their pitching just always is gross.
They've got 4 guys that were throwing over 100 in the starting rotation. Like, it was insane.
The only other one that competes with him, I feel like, is Wake Forest in the pitching
ACC,
department.
ACC's got some pretty good baseball in it if you want to watch some good college baseball. Both of those two, pretty good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on? No?
Not really. I mean, I think everything kind of played out. I didn't love the Angels pick. I think they had an opportunity, but I don't hate it. Like, it's not the worst pick in the world for them. They need so much. I think it was just one of those things we got to hit.
They're close.
I think until they trade everybody away. I think the only person that's going to be left standing right there is going to be Neto. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so wrapping that one up, the last thing we're going to talk about. So, guys, it is trade deadline season. We are 2.5 weeks away, and I thought it'd be cool to take the rest of the month and kind of throw our trade deadline predictions, what we think is going to happen. Then the last episode right before the trade deadline, we're going to have actual predictions because we're really going to know. You just don't know what teams are until they're like a day before.
Right.
Well, like I said, Boston 2 weeks ago, they looked like they were falling completely out of the picture. Now I'm looking at them. Nope, they're probably buyers again.
Yeah, after you come out of the All-Star break, if a team gets hot and runs off 7-8 wins in a row, it's going to change their projection. I mean, again, look at, the Brewers right now nipping at the Cubs. The Cubs going a little bit of the slide. Brewers continue this run that they're on.
True.
The Cubs are sliding into it. Not that it means they're not going to still buy, but it's just
if they slump really hard, do they sell?
No.
I don't think there's a world
that ever
because
happens? Okay.
even that's the thing where Milwaukee has been on such a run. They've won 7 straight games. The Cubs still have the lead in the division, and
you just
the
took
Brewers
2 or
are leading
3
the wild
from the
card.
Yankees,
Correct.
too.
So. Yeah, if they come out of the All-Star break and lose for the 2 weeks out of the All-Star break, things look bad, but they're still sitting in a pretty good spot. So it's not like we're sitting here going, oh, they're under 500. They're probably still above 500, even if they lose basically every game out of the All-Star break.
And I feel like if the Cubs were to do that, it's just more incentive to buy because they're going to see the weaknesses that they have, and that's what they're going to go to enhance. Now, if you're telling me the Cardinals come out and go on a 2-week losing streak, I think it's a reevaluation because then you're really bordering that 500 mark, maybe even below. And, it's a whole different outlook for them versus someone like the Cubs.
Totally.
Sitting in that spot.
Because right now the Cubs are like 3 games out of the lead for the league overall.
Right.
So it would take quite a slide.
They just had a historic pace from
They were playing
March
at
to
a phenomenal level, and like I said, Milwaukee's
July.
only there because Milwaukee's been
7 in a row,
phenomenal over the last month, basically.
Yeah.
So, but that's why Mizraski's in the All-Star game. So,
J-Miz, baby.
we're not gonna
Nickname
go
right there.
we don't got time.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
Don't got time for that.
I might get kicked off the air.
So I thought it'd be fun to do like sellers, buyers, and fencers. I'll call them fencers or middlers. We're just going to focus on the AL this week. Next week, we'll focus on the NL.
sure.
Let's do it. And let's just go around the ring and comment on each other's picks. And then we'll talk about let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, then we'll talk about trades and players that we think that could happen. So, let's do the AL East real quick.
You just want straight buyers? You want them all for right now?
In the AL East, which one's buyers, sellers?
AL East?
Yes.
So for me, the top 2, Blue Jays, Yankees, definite buyers.
Yep.
I mean, for me, I think both of those guys, they need something. With the run that the Blue Jays have gone on, they're definitely now in the market, I think, more for starting pitching, maybe some depth in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Maybe a bat somewhere along the line, but, I mean, they're definitely all in. They've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yep.
And now I think you're going to see them just go crazy.
So I think the Blue Jays are fencers. I think they're just going to stand pat.
So I read something.
Yankees are definite buyers, though,
and
because they always are.
I had to agree from the aspect of I think the Blue Jays window could either fly wide open right now or close on them.
Right.
And they think they're probably going to be, if not the most aggressive team, the second most aggressive team in this market. Because, like I said, they start winning, players are actually going to go up there because Vladdy's locked in. That means they're probably locking in Bichette long term, and they're just going to start spinning like crazy, like we've kind of talked about. But I think there are some gaps in the Yankees and Red Sox that I don't know that we actually saw previously.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of it's just coming to fruition that, the Yankees, maybe they were starting to slide, and we kind of saw that coming. But I think Toronto's definitely a buyer.
Really?
I don't even think they're close. I think they're for sure buyers at this point.
The thing that stops for me is the Bichette and what they couldn't get Vladdy done at the beginning of the season. They did it mid-season.
Right.
And it's like, what do they do with Bichette? Because if they let him walk next year, the window's gone.
Yep.
Right?
Well, I think
agree?
So here's the thing,
Probably.
though. I think there's potential here. There's an opportunity.
And their system is toast.
Right, but I think there's an opportunity here that you use Bichette kind of in the model that Detroit did. You sell him and get you a legitimate shortstop and some
so
that
that's why, to me,
you.
they're the fencer anyway. So I would consider that category buyer and seller.
Well, I don't think they're really selling because they're getting more of a haul. And then I think that you'll see them go out and become super aggressive in trying to get some other key positions like starting pitching and that. I'm just saying for the turnaround aspect, Bichette may be still gone. Mm-hmm. He may not. Like, you could still keep him, and I think there are some players that are going to be available that are rentals as well. Mm-hmm. That's why I agree with you. Their point, like, this could open a major window for them, or it could be a one and done type of run.
It's opening that window that we thought they were opening 5 years ago.
Right.
But it's just not really panned out for him. But Vladdy is who we thought he. I mean, Vladdy is a great player. All said and done, his numbers are probably going to stack up close enough if he stays healthy to probably be in that Hall of Fame conversation. Bichette piece, I don't know that he gets traded at the deadline. You're going to have to come with a very sweet
deal. Well, that's
deal.
what I'm saying. Like
I don't know what team it looks like to make that type of deal. Maybe Acuna's in that package.
I'm saying Atlanta, right? I mean, Atlanta could come
because
calling.
Bichette would be phenomenal down there in Atlanta too.
So you're gonna trade? Okay, so let me play this out. You're gonna trade Bichette to Atlanta to get Acuna, but then what does that do for the Braves, who lose their best player to gain? Well, they get the best player on the team.
Well, I don't know, Bichette,
because who's gonna go in right field to replace him and give that much?
I mean, they've got.
That doesn't make sense for Atlanta.
Yes and no. I mean, on some levels, because you're talking about, I mean, the downside for Atlanta is they're going to have to pay Bichette. That's where it hangs up on me, whereas you got Acuna for at least 2 more years.
Yeah. And they do that, but again, to our earlier conversation, Bichette's going to cost more than Acuna would have cost.
Right. I think
for now, I think Acuna's deal is going to skyrocket.
Sure.
100%.
So that's the thing. You may pay a little more now for Bichette after this next year. But I also think Ronald Acuna may be starting to have some concerns down there in Atlanta. Not that I'm hearing a whole lot, but it's just he seems like he's the guy that always shows up. Where's everybody else?
We got a gap in right field. I'm just saying. I got a number of players I'll send you. So,
but Atlanta's going to have hesitation too because he's had 2 ACL injuries. So,
yeah. I mean, and I could see that happening very much so. I think Atlanta is going to ask for somebody with control to go along with Bichette.
Like I said, it may not be Acuna, but you're talking it's going to be a price tag like that to get Bichette out before the offseason.
Yeah.
Offseason's probably more likely for Bichette, I believe. But if you're getting him at the deadline, it's going to be one of those, this was the blockbuster deal that happened at the deadline here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the rest of the East, we got the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Orioles. The Red Sox have just finished a 10-game win streak. The Rays are 2-8 in their last 10. Woof.
After going on a massive run.
Yes. And the Orioles are 6-4 at a record of 43-52. So I think the Red Sox are stand patters.
I don't think so.
No?
I think the Red Sox, also for the exact same reason why I just said that Toronto sees that there are gaps in the East and the AL in general.
It's tight, man.
You know, there's a lot of teams that are really competitive here, but before the season, we all talked about the Red Sox were the most talented team on paper, and they brought up their number 1 prospect. On top
got rid of arguably their greatest or best offensive weapon,
but evidently maybe a locker room cancer.
Right, so, 100%. Not going to argue that.
I think every team can always benefit from another pitcher. I don't know what that looks like,
but every team's always looking for.
You know, I think they could make a run at, you know, a random guy like Seth Lugo or somebody like that. That may be cheap, but it's going to pay huge dividends for a team like that.
And they've got the piece to do it, and it's not going to hurt them in Duran.
No. Yeah.
I think I put them in the middling category just because I don't think they're going to go over the top, sell or buy. But I think they will move Duran and they will find another starting pitcher. And it just gives another young guy an opportunity to go out there and play.
Yeah. They scream, as much as I said this about the Cardinals at the beginning of the year, they scream Tigers last year to me. And they would get better acquiring a secondary, someone to go with Crochet, and they could get somebody for that with Duran and something else for that to me.
So Tampa Bay is one of those teams that you're going to hear a lot about some of the pieces they have. Yandy Diaz's name is going to come up in a lot of conversation again. Like I said, over the last couple of years, they've been pretty tight on. They really like him down there. So that package, I don't know what that looks like, but it's going to take a lot to pry him out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I think they probably end up selling, but stay in that same market. It's probably going to be a small sell. Probably one of those middling teams.
You're talking the Rays, right?
The Rays. The Orioles, on the other hand, I think are going to sell and become Detroit. They're going to sell off
get better.
Cedric Mullins, probably.
Really?
Yeah, Cedric's gone for sure.
No. They're obviously going to sell, but you think they're going to get better?
I do, because they have all these young pieces that were already
pitching.
there.
They're going to get young.
They're going to get some
good
pitching that they're going to need
be their
desperately.
Focus. Yeah.
So the thing about that is interesting because if you think about every team in that league right now is going to need pitching, aside from Seattle and Houston, in my opinion. But Houston might need pitching too because they've just got so many injuries.
I think Houston's the wild card, and we'll get there when we get to the West.
The Yankees need pitching desperately.
And a third baseman.
Yeah.
Which we all know who that's going to be.
Yes.
Maybe.
No, it is.
There's a couple teams out there that really want that same guy.
The Yankees are going to pay for him. I'll argue that point again.
Yeah.
But in the wild card, the Blue Jays need pitching. The Tigers need pitching. They need somebody to go with Flaherty and Skubal.
And Mize. Mize has been great.
Mize has been stepping up.
Too. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah. The Flaherty piece, they're kind of teetering right now.
I could see them doing the same thing they did last year with Flaherty. Selling him off and getting another arm that fits in there better. And then Flaherty goes on another run with another team.
Well, and it's like Jackson Jubb going down hurt them.
Yeah, tremendously.
Super.
He was that's probably been the one, chink in their armor or whatever. Like, they've had a phenomenal year already, but Scooball's the guy. Mize has been great. They really need that third arm.
Yes, yeah, and that's what hurt him last year.
Right.
Outside of Skubal, the rotation. But the thing about I'm going back to the Orioles. They're 7.5 back. You think they're going to get somewhere with it, or they're just going to get?
They're going to do what Tampa Bay did last year. Is what I'm seeing. Is one of those teams they're going to sell off some guys.
Might get in the wild,
and then you're going to see
fight for that
right there at the end of the year. Going, is Baltimore getting into the playoffs?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
because my only disagreement is simply this: I think the Rays are just going to go into normal Ray mode and be complete sellers. Like, I don't think they'll be a bad team because they always somehow have the right person to step in to fill that gap. But I think they're just gonna, I think they're just gonna sell as many pieces as they can, with the exception of a couple players. And then I'm the same with Baltimore. I think honestly they just unload a lot of their veteran talent to just create that runway for the young guys again.
And Ryan O'Hearn has done them a huge favor.
100%, because he's going to give them a haul just for this year alone.
Very, very much so.
Right. And then Cedric Mullins is going to get them a good piece back. And they've got a couple other players like that. I think you'll see a couple of their bullpen arms go to other teams, and they'll bring up some younger bullpen arms that'll, they'll kind of do a little bit of what the Cardinals are doing and just start rotating these arms in and out to make it through to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think if you were to ask me, I don't think they hit the playoffs, but I think they're going to be right there in that conversation.
So out of all of them, I think Boston is going to ship Duran out, which we'd all agree. And I think they're going to go after a pitcher that's got 3 or 4 years of control.
Agree. They don't need a positional player right now.
Correct.
They're overloaded. Rafaela is becoming an absolute stud for them right now. So
and Wilyer Abreu was already one.
Right. And they still got to get him back.
And Roman Anthony is going to be there for at least 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And they're not going to move.
Campbell's still got to come back at some point from the minors. I mean, like, they don't need position. They need pitching.
Yeah, they need pitching really bad. All right, let's move on to the AL Central. So we got the Tigers in first place, the Twins right behind them. That's crazy.
This is an easy one.
And okay, let's do it. First two.
Sorry. No, you can finish out the teams.
Then the Royals, the Guardians, and the White Sox. The Guardians are 4.5. So the interesting thing about the Central is the other 3 teams, Twins, Royals, and Guardians, are all within 4 to 4.5 back of the Tigers.
Yeah,
Tigers have the best. They have the best percentage in the league, the win percentage in the league, I think.
Yeah, they're leading best record MLB right now.
Yep.
And obviously they're going to be buyers for that reason alone. They know they need more pitching. I think they'd like to get a little bit more depth on their bench as well. So they're going to completely go all in with as much as Detroit does. Like I don't think they're going to be this major player just throwing all kinds of, but they have the prospect haul to do it as well.
True.
So they could surprise some people with a move. Honestly, if I'm being really, really honest, I don't think all these teams will do it. I think they should, but the rest of them in that division should become sellers. That's the only way they're going to get better. Every one of those teams.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Well, outside of the White Sox, they're obviously great where they're at.
Right.
So, no, it's such
right where they should be.
It's such a weird piece with the Twins because they're also have a lot of veterans on that team.
Right.
But they've got a lot of injured veterans on that team. A guy like Byron Buxton,
and injured superstar like Lewis.
Yeah.
Phenomenal player when he's healthy. Carlos Correa, phenomenal player when he's healthy, especially in the playoffs.
Right.
And they have a ton of electric arms. Now, Joe Ryan, that piece is, everybody's looking at the bullpen from them. But if Joe Ryan's actually getting moved at the deadline, he will be one of the big arms that, you're going to have to give a haul to get because he's also still got 2 years of control, I think.
I think Jordan Walker looks good in Cleveland.
I don't know about that.
They're going to hate me so bad.
No, Minnesota, they said they've got 2 relievers that pretty much is on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
Kansas City, they're one of those teams. I could see them move a couple guys. Same thing. They move a couple guys and get better. Same we said about Detroit last year type of thing. If maybe they got a couple of these vets they thought were going to be, a solid rotational piece, but they just need to go younger. Go ahead, dig in now, and then be set up for the next 2 to 3.
So you're talking
4 or 5
like
years.
Lugo and Waka? Like selling them off?
Honestly, do they sell Vinny at this point?
I would
because to me, they're pretty much locked in that Kaggs is their guy.
Yeah.
Salvi's not going anywhere.
No.
And I think Salvi is probably still okay to keep playing for a couple more years, especially with the young core they have.
Right.
He's probably happy to be out there with those youngsters.
The only thing is the Singer move this year is an interesting Singer for what's his name from Cincinnati?
Oh, Jonathan India.
Yeah,
India.
That's an interesting move in and of itself because that's a move. How many years do you have? 2 years maybe?
Well, they thought they were going to be in it this year, and it just hasn't panned out. That's a move because they thought they were going to fight for the division.
And I think they thought they had
necessarily
enough pitching.
Out of it though.
I think they're out of the division. I don't think they're out of the wild card.
Yes.
The division, I think Detroit's just going to end up running away with down the plane.
Detroit's the number 1 seed in all of the playoffs.
Kansas City's probably going to have to make a couple moves just to unload a couple of vets, I think. And Lugo's probably that top guy.
That's the thing that I'm getting at. So like Lugo would be a great piece, but they need offense from somebody.
Well, and I think that's the problem is Jonathan India has always been a very consistent player.
Yeah.
And so they, like you said, they were ready to get into that win now mode because India, especially being up there in the batting lineup with Witt and some of these guys, Vinny you thought was going to take that next step, and then you hoped Kaggs was coming in middle of the year to make this electric run,
right?
And it's just not happening.
You know who I got? I got one for you. Seth Lugo to the Cardinals for Nootbaar.
Too much.
Lugo's got 2 or 3 years on the deal left.
It's still too much. So does Nootbaar. Nootbaar can get you more than Lugo. That's just my opinion.
What about
you can argue with me.
What about Lugo for like Contreras?
No. I don't see the Cardinals making that move.
No. They're not.
Because he's the lifeblood of the team right now.
If
heart and soul.
You're probably for Lugo to go, they're going to want potentially someone younger.
Bring Michael Waka back.
Oh, man. That would be a Cardinals move.
100% a Cardinals move.
Yeah,
Michael Walker's ready to go to the retirement home. Bring him home.
Man, yeah.
We'll send him off like he's supposed to.
That's going to be Mo's final
right.
move.
We'll give you Ting Hens for Michael Walker right now. That's what they'll do. And
I gave you a pitcher.
That's right.
Jeez, man. That
would
be...
offense. Throw Luke and Baker in there.
Good
they
Lord.
Could hit some bombs out
there.
Yeah. Hey. Vinny's not doing it.
I could see maybe like a Chase Davis for a Lugo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think
not worth it.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have to give up something.
And I say that
to
more
get
from the
something.
Royals' point of view. They need someone that can help them right now. on the field. Not
it depends on where they're at.
It depends.
It just really depends on what they're doing. Because if you offered that to me as a Royal, I'd be like, okay, I'm scratching this year because again, I'm 12 and a half out this year.
Davis isn't here for at least 2 though, and they need a first baseman. They need a corner outfielder.
Well, they don't need a first baseman because Cag's going to move to there.
You don't think he's going to stay in the right?
No, he's going to first, and then I think that's where someone like Chase Davis comes into play. He can go play the corner outfield spot, either corner outfield spot. He may be ready by next year.
I mean, maybe
to jump into that spot, and he's a better defender. So he's going to give you that plus side on that.
The only thing about with the Royals to me, they just paid Bobby Witt a ton of money.
Right.
Yep.
And it's really close to hitting the prime of the contract, like where it's the 20.
That's why they got to get younger.
Yeah.
So, but that window starts in a couple of years.
You're making my point for me.
Yeah, to making your point. But their pitching is going to fall off also in a few years.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where, and I haven't paid attention to the draft, but that's where they've got to draft smart here.
Yeah.
And I think you can still use some of those veterans that you have. Maybe you take not this year, but next year, you take someone like India, turn him over for another pitcher at the deadline because of what you need.
Flip him to Cincinnati for Singer.
Yeah, right. Just flip it right back. I think there are, for me, it makes sense. Maybe even someone like maybe you capitalize on someone like Nathan Church, who's having a good offensive year for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That you could get a little bit more of a value out of and say, hey, we'll give you Church to get Lugo. And they go, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. So for me in the Central, the big deal, and this is a little bit of a homer take, but I think the Twins are going to get rid of Joe Ryan, have the potential to get rid of Joe Ryan and get him for a younger pitcher, and also Harrison Bader. And I think the Cardinals are a prime target for that.
I could see
they need both of those things.
I know we're homers here, but I mean, I could see a Lars Nootbaar and a Tink Hentz.
Yes,
to flip those two like that.
It's 3 for me, but
yeah, there might be another player that you have to put in the mix.
It's Nootbaar, Church, and Tink Hentz.
I think you'll see how much of control Bloom actually has control of things right now.
Oh, 100%.
If a deal like that happens, because you're being very aggressive with that move, but I think Joe Ryan is a pitcher to buy on.
And we desperately need a pitcher like that.
You need a lockdown pitcher like that.
To pair him with what we have hopefully coming. I won't say guarantees that we have coming, but what we hope we have coming.
You get a guy that's at his age versus some of the guys you've got around right now to pair up with Libator and McGreevy, and then just bring in whoever, whatever. That remains around that you've got a nice 3-headed pitching staff with that versus right now where you're going, we have 3 5s on our staff.
Yeah.
And this is not expressing the Cardinals side of the trade. It's more the Twins side of the trade. Nathan Church is has a really high potential bat.
Sure.
And he's profiled for a center fielder, so he's a backup for Buxton, but he can play the corner.
Well, that's the piece that I haven't seen mentioned a whole lot, which I'm sure his contract probably would be a bit of an issue. But could they move on from Byron Buxton and some sort of blockbuster deal?
They should, but
I see the Dodgers coming into play for that.
And they slide in on a deal like the Scherzer Turner deal that we didn't, okay, we thought somebody was going after Joe Ryan, but they grabbed Joe Ryan and Buxton and
I
go,
would hate that.
Oh, crap.
I'd
number
be
one
spitting mad. Oh, geez, I would be so mad.
Oh, it'd be nasty. And, part of me as a baseball fan would be like, God, I'd love to see that hit on that roster, but at the same time, the other part of me as a baseball fan goes, you got to be kidding me right now.
There's nothing in their system that's stopping them from doing that.
No,
the Dodgers
I agree.
have plenty.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like Correa's probably that same piece here in a couple years that gets moved more probably.
I feel like the only thing for me is Buxton screams Yandy Diaz for the Rays of like someone you should move.
But you're holding on to for whatever reason.
It's just like, we love this guy here.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's why I think that, like, as a front office, I mean, I understand you want to have fan retention for the rest of the year because obviously you got to pay the bills. So you got to keep somebody that fans love, stay attached to. But at the same time,
That's Royce Lewis for them, though, right?
Well, he's not playing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, right.
100%.
So for this year, there's got to be something.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably Buxton.
As a coach, that's a conversation you have to have with that coach, too. Like, look, I'm sending away Byron
Buxton. Right.
I'm sending away
Duran's
for sure gone. Probably the other back end piece. Like these guys are gone, but we are going to get you a haul back for these guys. Like we're going to take and do what Detroit just did, but do it through a bunch of youngsters coming in via a trade.
So the only thing that kind of makes me think of the trade was it last year at the beginning of the season when the Dodgers and the Rays traded Pepio for what's his name? He's hurt all the time now. The long, flowy surfer guy.
Glasnow,
yeah. Because he's
I
made
love
of
how
glass
you just described
now.
him. That's amazing.
Pepio is taken off like crazy. And
I think the Rays are going to move him and get something crazy out of him.
Eventually, yeah, they will, because that's what they do. Yep. But Glasnow is not staying healthy. He's good. He's like a number 2, number 3 starter. And so that kind of screams that to me.
Well,
when the Dodgers do that with Buxton, like it's kind of burning the Dodgers right now. Not kind of, it's burning the Dodgers right now.
But the thing is,
Pepio would be so huge for them.
When Glasnow comes in the playoffs, I would take him on the Cubs roster all day. He's the number 2 in the Dodgers for sure. He steps onto most teams' rotations. When he's healthy, he's a 1 because his stuff's that electric. But the big piece is Tampa's solid. He doesn't stay healthy. His stuff is electric when he is playing, and the Dodgers just banked on, look, you're going to be hurt in April, be out for half the year, come back, and just be an elite 2 behind whoever.
But
it's DeGrom.
My counter, my counter would be Pepio would be the same.
But would he? Because he wasn't that in LA. Again, that's where it goes back.
They haven't brought him up yet.
Yeah, but that's where it goes back to, like, what are you seeing in development?
Yeah. Sure.
Right? And the Rays have this unique ability of saying, hey, we see this pitcher that no one values.
Yeah, they can always see like 4 or 5 years ahead.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
And we're going to take this guy and we're going to make him an elite ace and we're going to turn around for 5 other high-level prospects.
And what's funny about the whole situation, the Dodgers trading with the Rays, because Friedman came from the Rays system, like developed the Rays system.
Yep.
So that is, I don't know, that's just kind of a little bit of a like a mind to me.
Yeah. Guardians, hot take here. I think it's like a 20% chance realistically. They're going to sell, and I think they should sell J-Ram.
Where does he end up, though? That's the piece. Like, Cleveland values him so highly. Yeah. Like, that trade, and understandably, because like you talked about, Tim, he's on I think it was like $145 million deal. Like, it was ridiculously low for a guy with his. He's probably, if he's most players, on a $350 million deal from the production they've gotten out of him as an elite defender and an elite player. I mean, he's in the MVP discussion.
He's
every
a Hall
year.
of Famer.
100%. 100%. If he stays healthy, he's 100% a Hall of Famer when his numbers.
Come on, dude.
100%.
I agree. I'm not arguing that.
But where does he end up? That's where I don't know who's got
Is he your Yankees guy?
No.
I just don't know who they have to make that haul.
New York Mets.
How much do they have to offer? Because Cleveland is going to ask for a lot.
Their system is getting really good.
But if I was,
that's what I'm saying.
I would want Class A in that deal with him. So
it's possible.
New York,
I mean, you're going to have to add a little bit more to make that happen. But I mean, you've got Beatty, you've got Acuna.
Yep.
You've got some starting pitching that they've picked up. You've got some other prospects. You could probably throw in your first round pick from this year as part of it. Again, very, very team-friendly contract.
Yep.
From J-Ram, especially going to the Mets. And
Cohen would be like, I'm very glad we finally brought on a team-friendly deal.
Right. But, I mean, think about what he does for the Mets in that lineup and all of us on the field as well. You solve your third base issue.
Yep.
You've got Pete for the remainder of this year.
True.
You can let him go. Vientos becomes your legitimate first baseman.
And you've already seen Lindor and Ramirez were buddies there in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
They had loved playing together. So.
Absolutely.
That's a good.
And then Soto gets to move to DH, and you open up an outfield spot out there that
for
you could just roll for somebody that can play out there. Yeah. And they're not scared to send the prospects because they will pay.
And the Mets are definitely pushing the chips in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just come with an offer that Cleveland goes, man, we love you.
It has
we
to be
love the face, that you're the face of our organization, but it's like the Soto deal.
Yeah, screams to me Lindor 2.0 deal.
Yeah. It's going to be massive. I think this will be the blockbuster deal of the trade deadline if it had. Like I said, still, I would say a small percentage. Like,
and you think that's just because Cleveland's falling apart right now?
Yeah, I think they have to go through a complete retool.
Like team payroll number like 21 to 30.
Yeah, well, and I think they need to. Like, I really think they need to sell off their starting pitching. They need to sell off. Maybe it did,
So I think
maybe we can work out a deal, send Nolan there, and get J-Ram somehow here in St.
Nolan's
Louis,
go
right?
To the Guardian.
The Cardinals say we will pay for all of Nolan's contract.
Right.
We will take on J-Ram.
We will take it all.
I'm gonna raise you. I think so. We're gonna pair J-Ram and Class A together in this one. I think he fits not necessarily better, but I could see these other two teams going harder. The Phillies.
They need a third baseman.
They need a really good third base, and they need more. They need more elite bullpen depth.
Yeah, and
I can see the Yankees also trying.
Man, this decimates the Phillies though if it doesn't work out.
But the big piece is they're all in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
I think the Phillies, outside of what's that Pinter or whatever that kid's name is. And that deal may have to include him.
It would have to, because that's the only thing that the Phillies really
what I've
have
seen,
going.
I think they have him. I think he's been their only untouchable, really, through a lot of trade talks.
Well, they have Painter, and they have the kid that's in the rotation right now because Nola's hurt. I forgot his name.
I know who you're talking
You don't
about.
get a whole lot of these type of guys like Ramirez that come through. Now, as you started discussing, my wheels started turning and said, if the Chicago Cubs want to start operating like a big market team, that's the deal to make. I love Matt Shaw, but if I can get Jose Ramirez for Matt Shaw and some of the youngsters we have, because we have one of the top pipelines in baseball right now. Owen Casey is lighting it up right now down in AAA. He's definitely going to be part of that deal. Probably a couple young arms. I would assume.
What that
Maybe
does
they say we'll throw Ben Brown in there for you, and Cleveland turns him into a Cy Young pitcher because they're just like Tampa Bay. They just seem to churn out elite pitchers. But the Cubs, like I said, if they want to operate like a big market team, they make that deal, though. Kyle Tucker better be getting re-signed.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. You make a move like that, you are indicating we are here to stay.
Yep.
And I don't care if Tucker comes back and says, I want $800 million.
Yep.
You have got to come off
You got to make
that
the
contract.
move.
So for me, I don't know if the Phillies, I think, would go all in because that's the reason I thought of it is like they're close to the end of their window, and you can say I'm forgetting his name, but who's the third baseman now that they tried to get rid of?
Bohm.
Yeah, Bohm. They obviously don't like him.
Yeah.
That fixes that.
Mick Abel.
But
Phillies
Mick
pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abel, Painter are gonna go in this deal. But the Yankees, for me, also because they need a third baseman. I know we're talking about Suarez.
Yep.
Them going after Suarez and Gallen, but they're gonna be getting rid of Spencer Jones, Chase Hampton, George Lombard.
Yeah.
Do they have to throw in a major league ready arm, though, like Warren or somebody?
I think he is the one that's going to go.
Dominguez
for them.
maybe has to end up in that deal.
Lucas Heel.
Oh, man. Gosh. That would be a tough swallow for me.
Just because
I think you're right. He has to.
No, I think Cleveland's just going to choose younger talent. Because if they're getting rid of Ramirez, their window's gone. But they're starting over.
Dominguez is the guy you could build around if Cleveland believes he is what New York has held on to him as being.
Right.
Which, given they must be seeing a whole lot more out of him than what I've seen out of him because the kid's good, but he's not been
he's not Wood.
Untouchable
he's not
type.
James Wood.
So. But the Yankees have kind of treated him as such. So
yeah. Man, that'd be a tough move for the Yankees. Because then
what about a Luis
really,
Heel instead of
But
Warren?
because
he's been hurt all year.
Yeah, you just lose outfield. Like I think they don't have anybody that necessarily to replace that because they definitely don't want Judge going back to center.
Well, and there's the piece that maybe they can just throw in a random outfielder or something out there, a guy that's
Steven
just a
Kwan
good outfielder.
into the mix because if you're gonna sell, Steven Kwan's a guy that
probably
you got to move
expendable too.
Right, so maybe it's
he's
a double
an elite defender.
Right. I could see that playing out, and then him a left-handed bat in Yankee Stadium. His power goes up a little bit with that elite contact.
Well, you're talking Steven Kwan, Emmanuel Clase, Jose Ramirez.
Well, and the thing is, the Yankees.
I would want that more than the Dodger deal.
The Yankees love to be like that big market team that goes and spends like crazy, but they have to realize too, like their window with Judge hitting the way he does is right now. Mm-hmm. You don't have 10 years worth of this from Aaron Judge. Correct. You have maybe at best 7,
especially,
and I'd say that's probably
Soto.
On the high end. So Stanton, he'll be coming off here soon.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's with them next year, honestly.
They just got rid of DJ LeMahieu. They're paying him $22 million to go away.
To not be there.
So yeah, they're like, we need to do this.
DJ LeMahieu's going to end up back with the Rockies. Just to close it out. I know it sucks for him, but that's the only thing he's got.
So happy.
Arcia, isn't he playing for the Rockies too?
Yeah,
dude. Now that I think about that, man,
they'd be better off. The Rockies would be better off going back and getting Matt Holliday to come out of retirement and playing.
So, and the other piece that if they're making all those moves, Carlos Santana gets moved too. Then. In some sort of a deal, which I think would be a low-key pickup for somebody.
No, they're not gonna trade the division.
No.
Whoever misses out on the Naylor deal, I think comes in, swoops in, and gets Santana.
Yeah,
which may actually be a better pickup than getting Naylor. Naylor's highs and lows versus Santana. He's kind of consistent guy. So
yeah, because I mean
consistently 240.
But you know what you're getting, and he's a good defender.
He's a really good defender. Yeah,
right.
Come up with some big hits over his career too.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So we're all in the J-Rams.
Cleveland's the very interesting team.
It is. They have the chance to really change the dynamic.
Yeah.
Because you're talking.
There's 2 or 3 teams at least that would be right on it.
Yeah, you're talking. J-Ram is probably not quite as high of ceiling as Bobby Witt, but he's the type of electric player that Bobby Witt can be from time to time.
Dude, he had a.
But you just want to see Kansas City make this deal. Cleveland's at the point where I think they may be forced to make this deal because we thought they were going like this.
And they're not.
But it may have just been a fluke thing last year.
And the Yankees don't care about their prospects. The Phillies don't care about their prospects. Who was the third team you were talking about? The Mets?
The Mets.
They do care about their system and their prospects.
They do,
Stearns
but for a generational player like this that you can pair with a Lindor and a Soto, because if you've already said we're all in.
Alonso.
And you're looking
well, he's not going to be there next year.
You're talking Lindor to Soto to Ramirez to Alonso.
Well, and the big piece we're missing
nasty.
Is we are talking about Philadelphia is here right now.
Yep. Right.
But the Mets may be looking at this going, oh, Philly's gone after next year. The Braves look like the hot Mets Express right now.
Yep.
We're taking this division over.
And we're just going to own it here.
The Marlins, they're going to have some random piece. Yeah. Maybe we'll steal from them in a couple years.
This is ours.
Yeah.
This is ours. And then, even if they do that, they still have the means to go and get like a Lugo.
Yeah.
To slot in there. They may even still have the means to go get Cease on a 1-year rental for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
To just get them through this year.
And the thing is, if you're a believer in WAR, Ramirez is having a really down season right now, and he's worth 3.8 WAR. So you're adding 4 wins already to to the Mets, who's already at the top of the division,
which would put them equal to what Detroit's doing.
Yep.
Just to put it in context,
Philly doesn't have anybody in the top 10 in hitting WAR right now,
but they're still there.
They're still winning games.
I'm just saying.
I got you. No, I'm with you. And then obviously it goes to say less. I mean, the White Sox are going to be full on sale mode.
Yeah.
Now
where does Robert end up? Robert.
Unfortunately,
I don't think he gets traded.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an off season because of how bad of a year he's having. I think there might be a team so let's just throw this out here. Let's say LA swings and misses at someone like a Buxton. Mm-hmm. I could see them trying to just lowball the snot out of the White Sox to pull Lou Bob and hope that he has this resurgence, so they're not giving up anything of value and maybe strike lightning in a bottle type of deal.
Yep.
I could see that happening, but I think it would be more beneficial to the Sox at this point to hold on to him, hope he rebounds a little bit, and then revisit this conversation next year.
Yeah, that's more of an off-season move.
Yeah,
sure, to me.
Or let him just.
But honestly, they've always been on the fence with him too. Like, oh no, he's our franchise.
Let me throw.
But
this,
I don't want him in center field.
Let me
He's
throw
another
this
one that I
in,
don't
though.
want in center field.
Does someone come make a deal for Adrian Hauser, who's having a pretty good year?
Yeah.
And you just throw Robert into this deal to sweeten the pot a little bit to get a better prospect.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it's sad
we
to
may
think.
not see Robert get better. It may end up looking like Tim Anderson,
that's
where you're
the
just
thing.
like,
what if
out.
You're saying you want him to get out of center field?
Yeah,
that's one of the selling points of him because his bat's not good enough to be a corner outfielder.
Right. I'm not saying this year. I think wherever he goes this year, he's still your center fielder.
Yeah.
But I think he's more on like the
Long-term?
Mike Trout run. Like he's on the bottom side of his center field career than he is when he first started. And so I think if you trade for him in the hopes that he is going to return to be the player that you expected him to be, your goal is, hey, play center field this year, maybe next year, but we're looking at a defensive replacement center field. We want to move you to the corners. That's why I think someone like LA could come calling in that regard, because Hernandez is going to be gone after this year. They're going to have a hole out in right field. They already kind of have somewhat of a hole in left field to a degree, so like they could slide him into that spot and still keep someone like Pages for them, who's having a good year,
very good year,
playing in center
really
field. Like it doesn't, that doesn't hurt them long term.
And I
that
texted him
regard.
earlier. The beat writers for the Dodgers are saying Tommy Edman is relegated to a bench role now.
Well, I could see. So like to me,
he's hitting really bad.
that could be a player that ends up getting you some return value in like another deal,
a random deal.
Like thinking if like Cleveland, if you call Cleveland and say, hey, we want J Ram and Clase and this, we'll give you these prospects. Oh, and by the way, we're going to give you Tommy Edman.
And he'll
as
keep
well.
you afloat for the rest of the season. I could see that.
Yeah, I think he becomes that
Dodgers
bargaining
would have
chip.
to own the money though, because Cleveland's not going to.
They'd be willing to do that. I think.
Yeah, I don't think that would hurt them in the least for those players.
I know. Wouldn't you be just so happy if your team's like, yeah, we'll eat every bit of that contract?
Right.
All right, let's round this up and let's go to the West real quick. So the Astros are leading the division by 5 games. It's crazy. Mariners are in second with a 51-45 record. The Rangers have been hovering around 500 the whole season, mostly below, but right around there. The Angels are hovering around 500 just as much. And then you've got the
A's, baby.
Yep, the A's, baby.
That young team.
So the Astros are definitely going to be
sellers for sure.
the fencers in the sense of they're probably going to sell somebody so they can get somebody.
Yeah, they have to because they don't have a farm, so they're going to have to give up some pieces to get something.
You've got all the inside information. The thing that gets me for them is Christian Javier and Spencer Aaron Getty. Are they actually going to come back, or do they need to figure something out to replace their spot? And Pena's going on the IL, and he's been on the IL. Is that going to be a problem down the stretch for them? And then obviously Jordan.
Yeah. So and here's the thing, and you know my feelings about Jordan. I absolutely love the dude. I think he's a stud. But I'm seriously entertaining moving him for the right starting pitcher.
Hear me out. Is he in a deal to Toronto to get Bichette here to be Pena's kind of replacement? You go in and you pay him because you know what you're getting out of Bichette. Pena may be lightning in a bottle right now because they were looking at selling him, and then you're going to have to go get an arm to pair with that.
Pena. So
3-team deal is what I'm thinking out of that.
Yeah.
That Jordan's going to be tough to move because they're going to want so much for him.
Yeah.
He's on a big deal though. Not crazy.
It's not
he's on a
insane.
J-Ram type deal.
Right.
But he's got many years of control with the deal.
Yeah, and that's why I think
But he's
Houston,
a DH only.
I think Houston's getting fed up with the
I want to be in
injured
left
list,
field.
and I want to be left field. I think it's kind of like a Devers situation to a degree.
Can you imagine him in the Giants?
Oh gosh. I don't want it.
Then they have to decide between putting him or Devers out there on the field.
Devers is going to first base, bro. We know that next year.
Right. He's willing to
Allegedly.
play it, too.
Allegedly.
He's willing to play it. No, I think, honestly, I think that, this is where you could get really creative and maybe come in and steal. Like, this to me screams Atlanta here, because
Devers to Atlanta?
No. Jordan to Atlanta because Ozuna's gone after this year.
Yeah.
So you need that DH to come in.
A consistent bat.
Right. As a legit consistent at bat, you could potentially get one of their good pitchers. I mean, it's not going to be Strider. I'm not talking like that, but you get some of their elite pitchers, younger pitchers.
Yeah.
You might be able to even coax in another solid ready player that's there. Like, maybe, and again, I'm not saying they want to, but maybe they're willing to make that deal and have Michael Harris and one of their pitchers. It solves your center field issue, gives you another starting pitching for this year.
Wow.
And Atlanta, knowing that, hey, this year's not that year, give another guy in center field an opportunity. Jordan gets to come in and play left field. I don't care, because we're not... Make him feel good.
The only thing that my counter would be, Atlanta is desperate for pitching help because their staff is just torn to shreds. So they'd be giving up staff members to get a bat, of which they don't need as much.
The big thing is, though, they need pitching this year because all those guys are hurt.
Yeah.
You're banking on the fact that Strider's not going.
If Atlanta does this, they're saying, "Hey, the year is done."
You may even shut down Jordan the rest of this year if I was Atlanta.
Depending on what the injury
health,
is,
like if
to
it's
the wrist
any
and all that stuff. Yeah, take this year, chill out.
I will say the piece on that too. You may indicate to Acuna, like, look, we're willing to bring in big bats around you, so you're not just the only guy. Because Matt Olson has a huge bat when he's hitting.
Right.
When he's not hitting, he's got a huge O right there.
He's in the wrong spot in the lineup for what he is. Yes. And I think it's part of the problem. So you can imagine. So Acuna leading off to Jordan to Riley to Olson.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
Deadly.
Becomes nasty. You still get to hold on
already.
Right.
Nasty.
You still get to hold on to Strider. Like, you're not giving up Strider. You're not giving up Fried. You're not giving up Sale. You're probably looking at maybe a Grant Holmes or a Schwellenbach.
Fried's in the Yankees.
Or sorry, but yeah,
Schwellenbach.
Yeah. I mean, it might be that type of, you are gonna feel it. Like, but Atlanta's going, this year's just not our year. We're gonna go ahead and ride it out this year. And like I said, for Houston, it solves a couple of issues because you get that starter. Because Blanco's not coming back this year. Aaron Getty's coming back, but you don't know really what he's going to be. Javier's coming back, but you don't know what he's going to be coming back. So it gives you another decent option right there on the pitching staff, and it gives you an electric center field, defensive center field.
Yeah.
Still keeps Altuve in left if you want to continue with that experiment. You still keep Cam Smith in right because you're not giving anything up on that side. Your defense is still kind of set. You're still missing, in my opinion, a third baseman.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Paredes go to second and then find a third baseman, but I'm okay with him playing third if that's because it's working.
Where does Altuve go then? Because he definitely doesn't belong in left field.
I think
think he comes back to second if you can get another outfielder. Because, they've got a couple young guys that they're trying out right now.
Newbar would be perfect for Houston.
Yeah, but I don't know what we can get out of that.
Could you
Houston.
package Christian Walker in a deal and move Paredes over to first base? Because he's played some first base over his career. So
I just
when
don't.
They were going after Arenado, that's what he was going to do.
So
no, he was going to go to second.
Because they wanted to move Altuve out to. I don't get that at all, but
I don't either. I mean, I would much rather
second baseman. We're going to move him to the outfield.
Honestly, if it were me, I mean, I know DeZenzo's hurt right now. They've got some other young guys they're trying in the outfield. Myers is hurt as well, their center fielder. So I think ultimately what they do, honestly, I don't think they make this move. I think they do get Cedric Mullins. The Astros do.
I can see that. Yep.
Because it's going to be way less of an ask.
Yeah.
And they'll get him. Put him out in center field. They'll move. I think ultimately Altuve is going to come back into second base, and like a Jake Myers or a Zach DeZenzo or one of these other young guys is ultimately going to be in left field, switching back and forth with Jordan when he comes back. He'll play enough in left field to make him happy and DH the rest of the time.
Baltimore's got to be kicking themselves because Cedric Mullins 2 years ago, he had a pretty high value.
Yeah,
but they've kind of said this whole time is just like, we're not going to pay him. Yeah. They've pretty much indicated that the whole time, like, when his contract's up, we are not going to re-sign him.
He might be the best fit for the Astros just simply because their window is short.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And he's a rental.
And he's not going to cost a whole lot.
No, and that's why I say it'll save them because they're not going to have to give up a mass amount of prospects.
Buxton's interesting because he could help Houston like crazy.
They're just so right-handed heavy. And I know that it doesn't matter on some degree. That's why I like a Harris or a Cedric Mullins because it creates a left-handed bat in your lineup.
Yeah, of course.
Really helps you out. And if you get Cedric Mullin in a small field like Ditech Park out there, and he could come back to form. I mean, he's got potential power in his bat, so it could help him out in that sense. I mean, again, Jim Crane listening, you need an assistant GM, just give me a call. I'll run some things by you. I'm not saying they'll be perfect, but we'll get this team retooled and get them out there.
We'll get fans out there.
That's right. And, I mean, I'm just telling you, you're already in prime position. You don't need me to win. You've proven that. But maybe we can keep this thing going.
Someone we haven't talked about as a starter to be moved is Severino from the A's. He has been horrible in Sacramento itself.
Get him out of Sacramento, right.
He has a great ERA on the road. ERA on the road. So
where's he end up?
I think it's a low-cost ask, really.
I've seen his name floated around Chicago.
Chicago,
that's probably going to depend on if they lose out on Sandy or not. Ultimately, but
the only team
Severino,
he's not going back to is the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to go back there because they've already given up on it.
Yeah,
but wouldn't it be a shot if Toronto makes a call and says, "Hey,
I like that."
Mm-hmm.
Let's
low cost, but potential high,
and you're going to get to play the Yankees for.
I could see him going to St. Louis. I could see him going to Houston probably. No, I couldn't see him going to Houston. I wouldn't go to the Yankees.
If he's going to Houston, that ask is higher than what they're asking most teams because they're in the same division. They may not eat most of that contract.
Yeah, but I don't even think that he fits well in Houston because of the short left field.
Fair enough.
I think he needs to go to a pitcher's ballpark.
Yeah, I agree. Boston, I was thinking would be good, but I don't think he's young enough. I don't think they're going to want to get rental type of pitching.
Well, at
Toronto's
the same point, they brought in Walker Buehler, and he's been horrendous. Boston definitely is in a window right now.
Yeah.
So maybe they would be if the ask isn't too high.
What about
do they throw Duran in there? Oh, that's an interesting one too.
I thought about that, but again, I think I view it as the same as Boston. Like they're not going to want to get old pitchers; they want to get younger ones.
Yeah, but I mean, what 3-year deal?
Because they're at the beginning of a really long window.
Yeah, but a 3-year deal, and he eventually becomes 5.
It'd be 4 or 5. It's 2 with an option, so they would only do.
And Job will be back next year, though.
Who?
Jackson Job will be back next year.
So he slots down.
He just keeps slotting down. So
it's just for this year to put you over the hump.
Is that really going to put them over the hump, though? I mean, he was great with the Mets last
third,
year.
and it's a very.
Is
if
he
going
to be better than Flaherty, though? Because they're talking about getting rid of Flaherty. Or we were talking about getting rid of Flaherty.
I don't think you have to get him. I don't think it's Flaherty for him. I think you could keep Flaherty.
The big piece versus what the A's paid him to be. He was paid to be the best pitcher on that staff this year because they knew they weren't going to be very competitive.
He was paid so they didn't get sued.
Well, there's that piece, too. But Detroit is the one team I look at that's in the number one in their division and
say they're number one in baseball.
They are for sure the best team in their division, and they are the best team in their side in the AL or NL. But in the AL, the other teams, I could see the Dodgers sliding out of first place in that division if one of these San Diego or one of these guys get hot again, 100%, because the Dodgers have had some injuries and they've slid a little bit here and there.
Back and forth.
Detroit, I don't see that at all. I don't see that happening at all in that division or in that conference.
Yeah, the Brewers are one game out of first place.
Exactly. The Cubs are
in the Central.
In the Central,
that's crazy.
I didn't realize that until I was just looking at it.
And it's
the
Brewers,
like,
man.
So I think
like
they fall into a half game.
They're not going to pay him, but it's like, could you imagine them just bringing Severino there just as a number 4?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Take the pressure off of him.
To me like,
they're not going to do it because they don't want the contract.
But they would scream to me Joe Ryan or Taj Bradley.
I think Bradley's the higher draw on that than Ryan because they know Ryan's going to cost.
Yeah.
And I don't
they both have equal time left in ARB. They're not going to go that just because they don't play. They don't pay ARB players.
Right. And that's why I say it's really basically you're giving away. I mean, maybe an opportunity for this year. Yeah. So it just depends on how they evaluate what they have right now, which I don't know a lot about the Brewers.
And that's
they don't like to pay money.
They don't like to pay money. I don't think it's hard to say. They're sitting at one game back from my favorite team, which I definitely think is entered a window. I don't think Milwaukee thinks are going to win the World Series this year.
Yeah.
No. They just
I think they'll be happy to get to the playoffs and be like, oh, we lost in the first round, but we got a lot of these youngsters up and they got serious playing time and stuff.
Yeah. Because you got to think Yelich is on his way out.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their star player outside of the pitching staff is going to be Contreras.
Yeah.
Behind the plate.
No,
I mean,
true.
Ultimately, yes. But right now, it is Contreras behind the plate.
Contreras is the veteran on the team. It's kind of crazy to me.
It's crazy to think. But, yeah. I mean, and I think they're predicated to be that young, fiery, that's always going to be in the mix.
Have a clear
they're going to be in the mix.
Here we are talking about Milwaukee, but let's say Milwaukee goes on that skid we were talking about earlier, on a 2-week skid out of the deadline. Do they become a seller at that point and end up sending away Freddie and some of these guys?
Next week.
That's NL.
Yeah, that's NL.
That's NL.
So I think Taj Bradley fits the Cubs more than Alcantara does. I still
think Alcantara's going to end up in Chicago just because they're going to go for broke right there. Not that they're going to, because
Bradley's
it's not going to be a
pitcher, right?
I understand, but it's not going to be a cost to the Cubs.
Yeah,
and they're going to get a name.
Yeah,
and that's what they need.
Yeah, okay.
Bradley, as good as he's been, isn't the name that the Cubs need, and that's just me.
So the wild card in all of this is the Mariners and the Rangers. In the West.
Yeah, I will say this, and then I'll let you guys talk. I think the Angels should sell completely, like just go full on, gut it all, but Neto and a few other players.
Okay, yeah. I agree. Are they going to?
I don't think they will. I think they'll be a middling team. Just because I think that's what they think they have a shot.
They haven't had this good of a record for this extended amount of time.
Which I think it's a false thing for them.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt them in the long run. I think the Rangers are going to sell more than they will add, but I don't think they're selling young guys. I think they're just going to get rid of some bloated,
like Jake Berger?
Yeah. Like I think they're going to move some of those pieces that may get them some middling prospects in return and just ride it out this year. They'll entertain some calls on the higher profile guys, but unless it's absolutely blowing them out of the water, they're not going to make the move.
Do they get rid of Garcia?
I would
if anybody's got a decent offer.
Yeah. If somebody comes with the right offer, I'm saying, hey, see you later, buddy. I love you. Appreciate what you did last couple years. Especially especially the run.
Expanding.
Go for it, my friend.
Ease up on those things. Don't make it look so obvious.
Yeah. Slow down, man. No need to be Megamind all the time. For me, the interesting one is the Mariners here because I think they're I think they're the middling team because I think they're gonna have to sell to get what they need, and I think they're gonna end up giving away good pitching to get good hitting. And they're going to end up staying in the same spot.
Here's the match made in heaven. Arizona. Arizona gives you Naylor and Suarez both, and you send them Logan Gilbert or George Kirby, one of those two. You're probably going to have to throw on a prospect or something in there.
It would be Gilbert. They wouldn't be getting rid of Kirby. But they like Kirby way more.
You meet every need Seattle has, and I think that makes Seattle a legitimate contender with the way Suarez has played this year. And Naylor, like I said, he's a wild card.
Naylor is interesting.
The thing, their first base play is horrendous out there in Seattle. Yeah. Naylor brings a lot more power to that lineup.
I think they get Naylor.
You don't?
I don't think they get Suarez because here's my hot take. Suarez is going to New York. That's where I think he's going to land, and I think it's going to work out where Goldie gets to go back and play in Arizona.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Now, I like that.
At the deadline?
Yeah.
He's not leaving the Yankees.
Yeah, he is.
I love the idea.
He's a platoon player.
100% he is, but
he's a platoon player. They're going to need him as part of something to get Suarez.
I like the idea.
Young.
I just think that the arms that Seattle has are something that Arizona needs desperately, and is the type of arm that could push them up into the playoff picture again,
agree.
even through the rest of this year.
Yeah, but they have Gallen and Kelly, who they have got to sell. So you're going to sell pitchers to try and get young pitchers?
Though?
I don't think they sell Gallen. I think that's been false narrative, but that's next week.
It's they're a team. I think that deal could get done. Like I said, you've got to throw some probably other prospects in there. But
where you're talking about the Yankees prospect and Jones and Lombardi, I think is the catcher or first baseman. For the Yankees, George Lombardi. Is it Lombardi or what's his last name?
Yeah, you're right. It's Lombardi.
Yeah, I think you package those two up and you just throw in Goldie as you need a guy.
I don't think Goldie.
Because Arizona's going to move.
They really like Goldie of the Yankees because their defense is atrocious and
their defense is atrocious with him.
Yes, but he's not the problem.
Look at the play today from Volpe. They couldn't get Dansby Swanson out at second base on a routine ground ball.
That was hilarious, man.
That was incredible.
There was a guy that said the StatCast error tracked that ball.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, you can't help stupid sometimes.
Coaching, man.
And I'm not saying
coaching.
Volpe's a bad player, but like the mental capacity, the baseball IQ is just not happening in New York.
Seager. They could have had Corey Seager.
Good night, man. They may figure it out and go on a crazy run.
I could see Seattle selling one of their. I don't think they're going to do it. I think Seattle's not going to do anything. They do not want to get rid of their pitchers, which they should, for anything significant. But I could see Seattle getting rid of some of their pipeline for like Caminero, Brandon Lau, someone like that, or Suarez. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get
They
anybody
do
in the
love
rotation.
their pitching.
Yeah,
but I think if they're going to bring in legitimate bats around Cal Raleigh, potentially J Rod,
just shown that they don't care.
See, here's the thing. Like, so for. Because Miller's still not. I mean, he's on the 15-day IL, so there's still a possibility he comes back. So they can bank on that. I could see them if somebody is willing. They're going to have to be willing to eat a little bit of it. To move Castillo out of the picture.
Yeah,
and their starting rotation because Miller's going to come back into that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I think there's, that could be a win-win. They move him. He's aging out of it.
Yep.
He still has enough value.
True.
And if he goes to the right team, like let's say the Yankees or somebody who's in need of a starting pitcher, can help them and benefit them.
Castillo would be a good sell.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think they could sell that. I think they will entertain moving Gilbert, but it's going to have to be at the right price. That would be the only way. Like, I mean, it goes back to, and I'm not saying he's coming to St. Louis. That's not what I'm saying. But it goes back to, like, when we heard the rumors of it's going to be like a Nolan Gorman and this player and possibly this player. It's going to be the same thing, no matter who's going after him. Because I could see,
Well, I mean, that's to his point, the Suarez and Naylor.
Right. I could see really Detroit also coming into this picture here for Gilbert because they have enough young talent to offer the offset there.
Man, that's risky because they do, but selling their talent, that's going to keep them in the window.
I agree. That's why it's a tricky one. You have to be really, really kind of...
Of all those pitchers, who has the longest control on Seattle? Because it would have to be one of them with enough upside. Wu? Or is it Miller? Because Gilbert's
Wu has the least service time, so he's going to have the more control.
Wu?
Yeah, because he's only a year and, like 1.2
so it'd have to be him, but then that's going to cost the most too.
Yeah. Kirby is at 2-1. I mean, Gilbert is
he the one that just had a no-hitter that was broken up in
Who's that?
Yankee Stadium? Wu?
Yes. Yeah.
That was
He was
awesome.
the one that Jazz got the base hit off of. Yep. And so I mean,
because Seattle can't hit.
Yeah, they got their young guy Logan Evans up right now.
Yeah.
Filling the spot that Miller's supposed to hold. So that's why I say he hasn't pitched bad. He's still, there's still a little bit of work to him. Mm-hmm. So I think if they move someone like Castillo, you get to keep him up there, slot him down a little bit further as far as he's not going to be your top 3 as far as going into a playoff series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gives you flexibility. Again, Miller coming back, barring no setbacks.
Yeah.
Now, it's one of those things, too. Like I said, Gilbert, him and Kirby is clear why they value those guys so high. But you've heard both of their names floated around in a lot of trades over the last few years, and they've basically been told no because it just costs too much. So I'm wondering what that deal looks like because they are kind of in the playoff window right now.
Yeah.
Playoff picture.
It's kind of weird because Seattle needs offense.
Yeah.
But that's not what they value.
I know.
They value pitching.
Why do they not move Mitch Garver? I know he's their backup catcher.
Yeah.
Move him to first base.
I agree.
Dear God, give him a chance over
agree.
there. And it allows his bat to be in the lineup. I know Cal Raleigh's catching, so you still have your DH spot open.
I think as Mariners fans would say, their office is really dumb.
Gosh, man. I'm just looking at it because they need help.
The thing is, like, you have the pitching that could get you through a playoff series, 100%.
They have the pitching to win the World
Series. But you
Series.
need a couple of guys be around what Cal is doing this year.
Yeah.
A Rosarina could show up in the playoffs. Who knows? J-Rod could show up in the playoffs, but you still need another bat or two in that
imagine
lineup.
Seattle going after J-Ram.
I love it. I just don't think.
No, they're not going to do it.
I don't think they have enough to get him, honestly. Because
you'd have to be MLB talent.
You'd have to rip your pitching staff apart, and I just don't think Seattle can do that.
Yeah, but the thing about that is they're going to have the pitching staff come back up.
Am I right? Isn't Seattle like in the top 5 in the pipeline right now or somewhere around there? Like, it's probably all pitching too, but
let me see. I had it pulled up.
I was thinking they had kind of worked their way up in that pipeline.
Seattle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players in the top 100.
So they may have the package to get that done, depending on what they're willing to give up.
Angels have 1.
But does Seattle really believe they're in that type of window right now where they're can they vault themselves ahead of Houston, the Tigers, the Yankees, Red Sox all this year? Or are they building for the next couple years?
Yeah.
So that's the piece for me. Now, Gilbert, if we're talking giving up some prospects to get him, I know a team in Chicago that definitely has quite a few prospects that would love to have a pitcher like that.
Dude, Chicago only has 4 top 100s.
It's because some of them have either been traded away or have worked their way in already.
So the Mariners have the most in the top 100. So you're right. The I guess the Red Sox. Let me compare the Red Sox.
But the majority of them are
probably towards the bottom.
They're and I think they're like AA.
They were traded because Teal got traded to the White Sox, and then Roman Anthony. He's still considered the top prospect in baseball, but he's
right.
in MLB
Right. That's what I was saying. Because like even the Mariners, one of their top prospects, Cole Young, is playing for them right now. So
you mean Cole Young?
Yeah.
So what's interesting, of all the players in the Mariners system in the top 100, only 2 of them are pitchers.
Interesting.
So it's all offense.
Well, that is actually good news for them because their pitching's elite right now.
You wouldn't trade all that offense for more offense unless you were like, we need to win now.
Yeah.
We're going to get
Which I feel like when J-Rod kind of slowing up his progression kind of slowed them down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because 100%. When he came in as a rookie, it was just like, wow, this kid is something else.
Yeah, because his rookie year, they got into the wild card.
Yeah.
From Cal Raleigh.
And then
he's supposed to be. They need one more superstar. If J-Rod is,
I'd say keep their hitting coach around for Cal Raleigh, but they need to bring in a secondary hitting coach for J-Rod to figure out what's going on with him.
So I know you don't do this.
They fired the one that we got who made our offense better.
I know you don't do this, but could you see a world in which, because I know he's on a big contract, they just signed him, all the fun stuff. Could you see a world in which they use J-Ram as like this blockbuster deal?
Who?
Seattle.
J-Rod?
Or yeah, sorry, not J-Ram.
No, you're good. I'm just going to clarify.
Who's going to take him, though? Who's going to take a 12-year contract center fielder?
If you believe in the potential?
I'm New York, I would.
Yeah.
New York Mets?
Both.
But either one.
Both of them have the money to do it, and they're both in a window for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said,
he's the Yankees
he's a great defender, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great defender, so you don't have to worry about putting Judge out there in center, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it does cost you. Like, if the Yankees were in on it, I think that's where Dominguez comes into play.
So that's the thing. If you're the Yankees and you're giving up a haul for a player, are you going to give it up for J-Ram or are you going to give it up for J-Rod?
There's a difference, and the age difference is crazy.
Well, yes, talent difference is also crazy.
Most likely. Right. I think Jose Ramirez gets like every bit of the talent that he has out. Like you see it almost every year out of that guy.
Yeah.
What we saw rookie year from J-Rod tells me there's a lot left in there that we are not seeing.
Yeah. The right place could unlock it. And again, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, I don't think Seattle's even entertaining talks about J-Rod on any level.
It's one of those things if they had the offensive talent that these other teams had, they're a World Series winner every year.
So they're trying to bank on this notion that pitching wins when you get to the playoffs. They just can't get to the playoffs consistently because they don't have enough offense to get them to the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't have a team built to...
Right. Like, and in theory, you would look at this team, and if they were in the playoffs, you'd be like... Dear God, imagine, like, I don't want to go against this team.
Yes.
But, like, you look at it right now, they're outside looking in. And I don't see that changing unless they do something drastic. But their front office hasn't really been willing to do that.
Imagine the Mariners' rotation on the Yankees last year. Or imagine the Yankees' offense on the Mariners.
Yeah.
The team probably...
Game changer.
The fans probably burn down the city, but truthfully, if they're going to sell one of their studs, it's probably got to be the dumper. He's older than J-Rod is, and
I just gave him a long contract, though.
They're not. After this year, they're stuck with him.
I love it, but his value is not nearly as high in the long term, I think, as J-Rod, and you just don't know that you're getting this guy that you're getting this year from him. You're going to get 25, 30 home runs every year, but this guy's almost at 40 home runs at the break.
You're going to get last year's version of it.
I'm okay with that. With his defense.
Maybe, but
a platinum glove switch
are all these
home run catcher?
Are all these young players they've got coming up, though, is he still going to be looking like this same guy when they're all ready to play? And all these pitchers still going to be pitching at this level?
I mean, I
don't know how far their development off.
So many teams could use Kyle Raleigh. Every team can use Kyle Raleigh.
Yeah.
Not
I would
the Cubs.
sell half
we got
my
Carson Kelly and
to get him right
Reese
now.
McGuire.
And that's not just because of his offensive output this year. I mean,
the
just
Cardinals
the defense.
wouldn't do that because we're like a catching farm right now.
Right.
100%.
We got 7 of them on the roster, so
10 of them in
We've
the minor
converted
leagues
3 of them to pitchers.
Right. So we're gonna move 1 to first base. We got 3 on the roster for regular. So I mean, legitimately, we got 4 catchers on our roster.
That's
if you
pretty
really want to
actually
go there, but oh man, I could talk about that all day. But
all right, well, I'll shut it down. Next week, guys, we're gonna look out for the next episode. We're gonna do the same thing for the National League, and then, like I said, the last episode of the month will be right at the deadline, and we're going to do like real trade predictions as we get closer and just know what's going on. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next one.